The Niners QB room, they talk about this all the time. They're so proud. Like, yeah, it's like, hey, we don't have a starter per se, but we have multiple players who could be starters. And so, okay, let's compare. This year, Brock Purdy off surgery, Trey Lance off surgery, Sam Darnold off the best 6 games of his career. Last year, Jimmy Garoppolo off surgery, Trey Lance not off surgery, Brock Purdy not off surgery. What was better?
Well, according to the fans that voted on my Twitter, 57% think the quarterback room was better last year with Jimmy and an unknown Brock Purdy and a relatively unknown Trey Lance versus now you got Trey coming off injury, Brock coming off injury with a book on him. And then, I see go Sam Darnold. So 57-43, 57 shows 2022. Yeah.
He's Haley Joel Osment.
Yeah, right.
I see dead people all the time.
Right. Now,
sorry, he said it, not me.
Yes. Now, it could end up that Brock Purdy's better in year 2, but it just
with no offseason.
No offseason, off a UCL injury.
Sure.
And
he could be way better this year.
It could happen, but not.
He could be
now.
Not
I think we could see a better Trey Lance. I believe that you would see. To me, I know people are going to think I'm tripping, but I think it's more likely that Trey Lance looks better this year than Brock looks better this year.
If training and practice means anything in life, which I think it does.
Yes.
We've already gotten reports from George Kittle and Kyle Shanahan that Trey Lance looks way better. For whatever reason, all the national media just ignores that stuff. But I've seen it too. Like, he used to throw the screens and the short throws too hard. We saw it. Like, when he was trying to win that job as a rookie, everyone was like, man, you really can't throw slants like that. You can't throw shallow crosses like that, man. You need a little, it's a wrist flick.
Yeah.
You haven't seen it yet, but he's got it, at least in practice. It is not a big, powerful motion on the short throws. It's a wrist flick. That's a good thing. So if he can show that, I mean, even his biggest critics point to that every time. Like, he can't hit the short stuff. He can't hit the easy stuff. Yes, he freaking can. So let's see what he does in training camp and preseason.
So, yeah, in regards to 2 things. So in regards to the short stuff, Trey Lance was 5 percentage points lower than Brock Purdy on the short passes. 5%. That's without CMC. That's without George Kittle. You add CMC, you add George Kittle, you add his new mechanics, you add his training and development. I think he's going to hit the short stuff no problem. The second reason why Trey Lance could look better this year is because I'm hoping Kyle Shanahan learned, and now that Trey Lance is coming off an ankle injury, that they're not going to just run him 13.5 times per game. They're going to let him play quarterback. And so that's another reason that we could see an improvement from Trey Lance this year.
Also, like, if your offensive line is built to run and you can win games running all but 10, 15 times, like, the short stuff is important, but like, the short stuff are essentially, those are like extended handoffs. The way I look at it, the screens, those are extended handoffs. You're going to beat teams handing off. Okay. How many extended handoffs do you need? A couple. What you need is a quarterback who can get the ball down the field and beat 8 in the box. That's what you need.
Yeah.
You don't need extended handoffs. They got 8 in the box. There's no space. You need a guy who can stretch the field. That's what Trey Lance can do. So I'm surprised that Kyle hasn't called a game like that, man. Heavy handoff with play action shots. You hit a couple of those and the defense backs off, and you just run the freaking ball down their throats the rest of the day. End of story.
And again, small sample size from Trey Lance, but if there's 2 things I think Trey Lance has shown that he can do well in the small sample size, he's 60% past 30 yards. So he's really, I mean, that's compared to Brock. I think he's like 20% past 30 yards. So Trey Lance is accurate deep. He's shown that he can do that. The intermediate stuff's where he's really struggled, but he has shown that he's talented deep. The other thing that he does really good is scramble. His most effective runs were off the scramble. So just let Trey Lance, hand off, bootleg, attack deep, and scramble. And I think you will have a good year from Trey Lance.
So even though Trey Lance is coming off a surgery, I do think he should be better this year than last year. Maybe not as a runner, but I mean, he wasn't going to be making his money in the NFL as a runner anyway. That's a bonus. I think he'll be better as a passer this year. Brock Purdy, will he be better this year? I can't see that. will Sam Darnold be an upgrade over Jimmy Garoppolo this year? I mean, you posted the numbers that Jimmy Garoppolo had with Christian McCaffrey, 71% completions, 245 passing yards a game, like 2 to 0.5 TD to INT ratio, like which would be like a 4 to 1.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is Sam Darnold going to be doing anything like that? So to me, last year's quarterback room was better. It just, I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo isn't good enough to win a Super Bowl, maybe, probably, but you knew what you got with him. Like you knew the team was going to win X amount of games if he had to play because he'd proven it. This year, it's like, well, Brock could make a full recovery, or Trey Lance might stay healthy, or Sam Darnold like could have like this renaissance, or it could just all fall apart.
Yeah, I mean, say what you want about Jimmy. Say what you want about Jimmy, but he could dink and dunk the shit out of the ball.
No doubt.
Yeah.
He was the safety net for this team.
Yeah.
Now they have no safety net. They're just going across this tightrope, and they're being like, man, we've got this. We've done this so many times without falling. Yeah. All right, but are you scared?
I don't think Sam Darnold is. That's what's weird about that. They grabbed Sam Darnold. So they have Trey Lance and Sam Darnold, both strong arm talents, guys that can go deep on you. It's kind of weird that they got him because that's not really what Kyle has done, right? What Kyle has done is built for Jimmy, and maybe that's why he does it. I don't know, but the quick passes, the short passes, the dink and dunk, Jimmy was way better at that than Sam Darnold is going to be. Sam Darnold's not known for getting the ball out quick and making quick decisions.
Well, remember that Kyle never wanted Jimmy. Kyle wanted Kirk and was waiting. Then John got Jimmy and was like, what do you say? And Kyle's like, okay. And then it worked. And then I think the Niners spent like 5 years trying to put a team around Jimmy that would fit him the best. So all this yak stuff, the yak bros, that's a function of Jimmy's limitations. They have to be the yak team. They literally have to be the yak team. And it worked for them to a point. It didn't win a Super Bowl for him. That Kyle tried to update the formula, and guys like Kyle Juszczyk and the yak bros were like, wait a second. This is what we do. Like, it's not good enough.
That's it. Maybe so. That's the thing. Maybe Kyle doesn't like this dink and dunk shit. Maybe he's just trying to find right.
I
he
think
signed
Lynch likes
Trey Lance, right?
Lynch likes Jimmy. Lynch likes Brock.
Right.
Kyle's the one who be like, can we give Sam Darnold a try? Can we give Trey Lance a try? Can we wait for Kirk Cousins? Like, that's Kyle.
Yeah, right. Can we get Sam Darnold in here? Like arm talent. Yeah. So
talent.
I think I'm.
And what's the first thing that got leaked about Sam Darnold this offseason? Great arm.
Yeah.
Like it matters. Then you have people being like, hey, arm talent doesn't matter. To Kyle it does. Maybe not to John.
That's true. I'm kind of seeing that now. Like I really kind of blamed all this on Kyle, but it's really just, I mean, obviously he has blame in it because he's not getting that quarterback that he wants, but he's trying to go after quarterbacks that have serious arm talent. And it's kind of
evident. Who his dad won Super Bowls with, Steve Young and John Elway. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Right.
And they're a run first team. Like they got this system. It's not about the quarterback. Yes, it fucking is. Sorry.
Right.
It is.
I appreciate
it.
Yeah.
And the last thing Mike Shanahan did before he got ran out of Denver was draft Jay Cutler, who you say what you want about Jay Cutler. He had as much arm talent as any quarterback of his day. I mean, the release, the touch, the velocity, the accuracy. He could freaking spin the ball. It wasn't that. I mean, he was just a non-leader, a non-competitor. You say what you want, but he could throw. He could throw.
So to all those fans that come at me crazy all the time about arm talent doesn't matter, tell it to Kyle Shanahan.
It matters to the Shanahans. It really does.